Hi, I'm Reuben, and I stay awake at night thinking about really stupid things. Like, it occurred to me the other night, is the plural of dubstep dubstairs? And if that's true, does that make an album of dubstep songs a flight of dubstairs? Bear with me. And assuming the first two things are true, is that why it makes so much noise every time they drop the bass? There you go, you got your £3 worth of joke there, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome. Yeah, so the two people who were students, where are you guys? Oh, okay. What were you, the biochemistry or physics? Oh, okay. My cousin just started doing that because I'm the underachiever. I liked university. I really enjoyed it. I finished my third year. People give students a lot of crap, and I can't really defend them too much because I realised when I finished my third year, I spent my third year the same way I spent most of my time when I was a child, which is to say alternating between naps and crying. I don't know. I mostly positive experience in university, but there was one of the things I really didn't like about it was when my housemates, I had a couple of people, they were the same ones for the whole 3 years I was at university, and they just got under my skin. I couldn't stand it. From day one I knew we weren't going to get on, but really after 3 years I don't know why I lived with them. Really more necessity than anything else. But it happened. I reached a point around the exam season this year, when it was a Saturday night, but I had an exam the next morning, and it was just late. It was 4 in the morning, and they came clattering through the house, blind drunk, thundered past my bedroom door, into the kitchen. They were throwing stuff around and setting things on fire and fuck knows what. And I had to get up in my Spider-Man pajamas, which, as you can imagine, is an intensely erotic sight, and then walk into the kitchen, and they just shouted, "Mum, Dad, fucking stop!" Because I'm one of those people who made the unwise decision to go to university in a town where I already lived. And because the reason I thought I'd stay at home is I thought it would be a cost-saving exercise, essentially. I thought I'd save myself a lot of money, which I did. But I've realised that the money that I did save, I'm probably going to have to spend on a defence lawyer at my parents' murder trial. I mean, that's pushing it. Like, they mean well, but they mostly fail. For example, I live in Leicester, which is... anyone here from Leicester? Anyone?
Yay!
Oh, a couple of people. Good, I like you guys. A bit shit, isn't it? And I like Leicester, because that's one of the things about it, is that it has the highest minority population of any town in the UK, which means essentially that white English people are the minority in Leicester. But I mean, that's a weird term, because in every way that matters, I am a white English person. This is just sort of an error. But yeah, the thing about it is, because there's a lot of minorities and everyone gets along for the most part quite well, people like the BNP and the EDL really don't like it. Like, actually, yeah, speaking of which, did anyone notice, apparently there was an SDL, Scottish Defence League protest today, which is why I've been hiding in here all afternoon, because, you know, racism. Well, yeah, they don't like immigrants. They come and protest as a counter-protest, and I usually stay inside where it's safe. But my mum is not nearly as much a coward as I am. My mum thought what we should do is we should go down to the train station with big signs saying, "Send them back where they came from." Because obviously, they're coming to where we live, but they don't like immigrants. It gets worse. Because the thing that my mum had failed to take into account is that she is white. So any white person on the day of an EDL rally with a big sign saying, "Send them back where they came from," she just looked a bit lost. In fact, she was standing next to me, my dad, and my brother. Just looked like we'd given her the wrong directions. Yeah, so who's in a relationship here? Give us a cheer. Yeah. Give us a cheer if you think I'm in a relationship. What the hell, guys? Wow, okay. Well, I am, so fuck you guys. It's fine. It's okay. I know. Everyone was hoping I wasn't because of the image of me in Spider-Man pajamas. I know, it's fine. I am in a relationship. I do have a girlfriend, and that's wonderful. I love my girlfriend. She's brilliant. But I've realised that the more we talk, like, we're from very different places, and like, because my girlfriend is from quite a small town. I'm a city kid. Like, I live in Leicester, and before I lived in Leicester, I was from London. Anyone from London in? Yeah. A couple of people. Anyone here from North London? Yeah. Anyone here from Tottenham? Okay, that was a bit specific. Yeah. I was born and grew up in a part of North London called Tottenham, which, for those of you who haven't been, you may have heard of it because it's quite famous now for being on fire. But those of you, some of you might notice I don't sound like I come from North London, and that's because my parents read The Guardian. And so I sound like this. I listen to a lot of Radio 4. I just love hummus. But yeah, I went to visit my girlfriend, and I went to visit my girlfriend in the summer just before I came here, and when I got off the train station, I jokingly said, oh, now I'm here, the ethnic population of this town must have gone up tenfold, and she laughed obligingly, as she's obliged to do. And she said, no, don't worry, it's fine, because there's at least 2 black families in this town, although I think one of them is Indian. We do understand why that's not okay, don't we? And it's some of the things like that. Like she said, another thing she said to me. I don't know if it's felt this. It's a thing that I've heard people say before, but I've never understood. That the idea that you wish you'd been born in a different decade so you could experience life like that. Has anyone ever felt like that? Has Shay felt that? A couple of people. Like, whether you've ever thought that like the music and the style and the culture of a different decade were much more applicable to the person you are than what we've got now. And my girlfriend said that to me. She said, oh yeah, I really love old movies and jazz and kind of old Hollywood and the Great Gatsby kind of stuff, all that. And I really wish that I'd been born in like the 1920s. And then she said to me, Reuben, do you think you'd have been better off if you were born in a different decade? To which my response was, no. Not even a little bit. Like, we can break it down, because about 200 years ago, in chains, so no. And then it doesn't get really a lot better until sort of the 60s, and even then, and I know there's a lot of nostalgia for things that have happened and times that have gone by, but now I think really is the best time to be alive there's ever been. Like, between antibiotics and Wi-Fi and Nando's, and the fact that people can't lynch me for fun anymore, 21st century's got a lot going for it. And one of the things I really like about this century, about the modern times, is that I like being a nerd, as you probably guessed from the fact that none of you thought I had a girlfriend. I can't believe no one said it. No, it's fine. No, it's fine. I like being a nerd. Is there anyone, like, I'm not a cool person. Is anyone here not cool? Any nerds in the audience? Yeah. A couple of guys at the back. Okay, that's fine. Like I like being a nerd, but the thing that cool people probably don't realise, because you all have lives and stuff to do. And there's a thing that nerds kind of have like a... What's that? Sorry. I haven't got the punchline yet and I heard laughter and I got a bit afraid. Usually means people are about to throw things, so I started worrying.
I was just commenting that my other half is probably saying you're wishing that he has a t-shirt like you.
Oh, okay. Well, appreciate the splendour, sir. Like nerds have a kind of a hierarchy, because at the very top, there's a thing that's video games are now the biggest entertainment medium in the world. So at the top, there's kind of video games, and they're great. And then just below them, there's comic books next to like the Dark Knight and the Avengers and all those things that you've probably seen because you're people. And there's kind of the top two most socially acceptable categories of nerddom. They're what I call the Big Bang Theory categories of nerds. And then below them, it starts getting a bit murky, because just below them, you've got your Games Workshop people, and there's one of them while you might have seen it. And if you've never seen a Games Workshop, imagine a cave full of hobbits, painting tiny figurines of other hobbits. You're more or less there. The step below them is the people who really like trading card games, like Pokemon cards and Magic the Gathering. And does anyone remember Yu-Gi-Oh? Well, these people never forgot about Yu-Gi-Oh. And at the very bottom, the bottom peg, at the bottom rung of the ladder, the lowest of the low, are the LARPers. Now, LARP, if you don't know, it's an acronym, stands for Live Action Role Playing, and that is people who love Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings so much that they want to put on plastic armour and take rubber swords and go have pretend play fights in the park. What losers? Am I right? That joke's funnier on the internet, but anyway. I like nerd stuff, because I realise as much as I like everything that comes with being in the 21st century, like a lot of the culture I find a bit repugnant. Like I'm not even awful actually, I just really can't get on board with it. Like I tried to acquiesce to fashion, I tried to be hip and cool, and I bought some skinny jeans. But unfortunately, the moment I put them on, they turned into fatty jeans. So got rid of those. And I don't really like going out, because I don't really like popular music, because like one of the most popular songs of last year was a song you all heard called Blurred Lines. If you haven't heard it, it's a pop song where the central message is, I know you want it, stop screaming, get in the van. I can't really get on board with that. I did try something because I thought my final year of university is the best time to be to like be carefree and do whatever I wanted. Like that's the thing that worries me about nostalgia. Is I think I'm getting nostalgic for things that I haven't done yet. That's what worries me, because I'm going to have, at some point now I finish this and I can't be a proper adult, I'm going to have to go out and get a job and be like a normal human being like most of you. And cause I had a really fun, now is the best time, because me and my girlfriend, for example, a thing you can only do really when you're in university, me and my girlfriend, we stole things from a couple of housemates' beds, we made a pillow fort, and then we had sex in it. And really, like, that's the thing you can only do, because below 16, technically illegal, and above the age of about 25, it's just a bit sad, isn't it? So, sort of in the golden years, but I did something that I did something in my final year of university, and I'm not proud of it. I regret doing it. I felt awful as soon as I'd done it, but I think it's the thing a lot of the guys, especially in this room, will have done one time or another, and I read a copy of The Sun. I know, I'm disappointed in me as well. But the thing that really shocked me about The Sun was page 3. Like, I didn't know it was there, I didn't just open it and freak out. It was more specifically the fact that the women featured on page 3 are supposed to have opinions. Like, again, I'm aware more generally they actually have opinions, but like, there's always like there's a little text box just sort of to the right of the boobs, with a little comment about usually the story that's on page 1. And what struck me especially is that when I read it, the opinions expressed on page 3 are sort of some of the most like reasonable and moderate in the entire newspaper. And it's there's one journalist at The Sun with some integrity who's just said to his editors, guys, can we write at least one thing in our newspaper that isn't just fear-mongering shit? And the editors have gone, well, you can, but you're going to need to put some vague misogyny in there just to balance it out. And yeah, so I'll leave with this, my final thing. Yeah, so as you all correctly surmised, I haven't had a girlfriend for that long. I met her at the start of this year when I turned 21. I'm glad I met her when I did, because when I was 20, I had the disturbing realization that I was halfway to being the title of a Steve Carell film. And that is not Anchorman, and not the one where Morgan Freeman is Jesus. It's a 4-year-old version, I suppose. It's not a point. But that kind of bothered me when I was a bit younger, when I was 16, 17, and all my friends started having sex for the first time, and I was kind of left alone with my immaculate collection of Pokemon cards. Which, I mean, you know, still cool, right? It's okay. But it bothered me, but then I kind of grew out of that and I stopped worrying about it. And I thought about sex the same way that I think now about space travel, in that in theory, very exciting. And if I get the chance, I'll definitely take it. But I'm aware it's probably not something that's going to happen within my lifetime. I'm Reuben. You guys have been lovely. Have a nice day.